Next, we're going to be talking about this Reds preview, and the Reds are a really hot baseball team right now. They've won a lot of. They only have 3 less wins than we do, so they're a really hot baseball team. We were kind of talking about how they'll be sellers at the deadline because they're not a really good baseball team. But I don't know how many games they are right now of first in their division. I want to say it's around 4. Let me check real quick. It is 3. No, 2. They're 2 games back of first in their division, so they're within reach most definitely. Playing some really good baseball. And as for us, we're not playing some really good baseball, but luckily we're going to be at home. And the first guy to get the ball is going to be Joe Musgrove. I think that's a huge advantage for us. Joe Musgrove has a 2.5 ERA right now. He looks really good out there. And it's going to be San Diego's opening day. Full capacity for the first time. No one better to throw than the San Diego kid. But Chase, what do you think overall of this series?
I'm hoping since it's a home stand and that all the fans are back, that really kicks the Padres into gear because, having all that fan support does make a difference. Having everybody to cheer you on and, when you guys are hot and everybody in the fans are just screaming back at you, they feed off that energy. They're a team that really relies on energy from the stands. And hopefully, the pitching's there. We have Musgrove, then Paddock, and Lamet. So we have, 3 of our better guys starting, and hopefully, Musgrove goes out there. He goes 6 innings. Paddock goes 6 innings, and maybe we see Lamet stretch out a little further this time than I think it was 4 innings. So hopefully the pitching's there, and hopefully the bats continue to just show up. Hopefully they don't go on this dry streak because, the Reds pitching staff hasn't been bad. Each of the guys that we're facing has under a 3 ERA. So, they've been pitching pretty well throughout the season. And, the Reds have Nick Castellanos and Jesse Winker. Those 2 are not ones to be taken lightly. We want to trade for them because of how good they are. So, we got to be careful of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, I feel like maybe we might see a little bit of a pitching rotation change just because we are going to be facing the Dodgers in the next series. And we're starting to fall back a little, and it's only June, but we're starting to fall back a little bit of first place in the division. We're going to need to win as many divisional games as we can. Well, obviously as many games as we can in general, but we need to start catching some ground. But as of now, we're going to have Musgrove, like you said, Musgrove, Paddock, Lamet, and Darvish, which the good thing is, I feel confident in all of them, and I feel confident in the series because we're leaving out Blake Snell. But overall, I think this will be a good series. I think it's a really good chance, and we've said this in the Rockies series. So obviously, we've been wrong, but this is a really good chance for them to bounce back. At home, the Friar Faithful are going to need to show up and really cheer on their team, give them the energy they need because right now I feel like the Padres are really flat. They're playing flat baseball, uninspired baseball, and I think feeding off the fans, feeding off the energy is going to be huge for them because that's kind of what their mojo is. They have swag, they got all that. They have a swagger kind of mojo, and I feel like feeding off the energy is what's going to be good for them. But if you want us to cheer for you, you got to be able to win these ball games against teams like the Reds. Even though they're hot, we are a much better baseball team on paper than they are. But we're just really cold right now. We're on a really cold streak. I expect Musgrove to go out there and really pump some gas, but I'm really excited to see Chris Paddock again, just because he has been really hot on the mound lately, and he's been throwing some really good baseball games. I believe his best start was this past start against the Mets. But the reason Chris Paddock, I'm most excited for him is just because he's kind of been a rocky pitcher. I still love Chris Paddock. I think he's a good pitcher. I don't think he's great, but I think he's a great number 4, to be honest. So I'm just excited to see how these pitchers do. I'm excited to see if this lineup turns it around at home. But Chase, any other thoughts about this series? Anything you want to talk about?
Hopefully Machado, continues to keep on his little hot. He started in Colorado, so hopefully him, continuing to hit helps the lineup because having Pham, Grish, Machado, and then Tatis, that's a really lethal 4. If all of them get on base for Tatis, big things will happen. Or even Machado can hit them in. And then, it takes away some of the pressure from the bottom half of the lineup that maybe Haas and Myers haven't been producing as much. But if the top of the lineup can get it done, maybe it takes away some of the pressure of the bottom of the lineup having it done. And then maybe we'll get production out of the bottom of the lineup now. But we'll see. The bats have been so iffy that it's kind of just a toss of the coin at this point.
Yeah, the bats absolutely need to come around. We need to start seeing guys like Hosmer, especially Hosmer. How I don't understand how he started the season off so hot. Yet he's probably the coldest hitter in the lineup right now. Maybe he's in contention with Jerickson Profar, but in my opinion, he's just been a ground ball machine. He just hasn't done much in the lineup as of lately. And earlier in the season, he was kind of like our RBI machine. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. There was nobody else I wanted up there. I wanted Eric Hosmer up there really bad, and now it's like, man, I don't really have faith in you to bring these runs in right now. But hopefully, this lineup turns it around. I think there's no better time to go on a win streak than now at home in front of all your fans. The Friar Faithful does need to show up. But I think that's going to do it for this kind of preview. Hopefully, they go on a win streak starting now, and they kind of just brush off this whole tough. It's been a tough sledding, but it's all right. Like I said in earlier, marathon, not a race, so it'll be cool.